Okay, green light's on. Okay, welcome to Garden of the Eden. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples from the orchard. This class reads Meets in Longmeadow, Massachusetts, Center of the Universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe, Margaret Vogel, blessed memory. Apples from the orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Here we're up to Parshas Kitavo, and it's the first one, page 989. Yep. Okay. Yes, this is about the Bikurim, the first fruit. The first fruits.
Rendering up and holding back. The priest will take the basket from your hand and place it before the altar of Hashem, your Hashem. In Parshas Avo, we are given the commandment to bring the first fruits, Bikurim, to the temple. The fruits are to be brought in a wicker basket, and the fruits with the basket are presented to one of the priests of the temple. The word for basket in this passage is tene.
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 Yes.
The mystical meaning of the commandment of the
first, which I should say is a very unusual word.
Naturally.
Yeah. We don't find it very often. A few places, but not much. Okay, sorry. The mystical
meaning of the commandment of the first fruit is the return of the life of the Anpin Chesed, which is embodied by the priest, in order that he will not be able to derive sustenance from the divine beneficence elicited by our performance of the commandments. This is the mystical meaning of the phrase. The priest will take the basket from your hand. For the numerical value of the word for the basket, atene, is the same as that of the name Adni. Atene, 8, tes, nun, aleph, 5 plus 9 plus 50 plus 1 is 5. And Adni is aleph, dalet, nun, yud, 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 50 plus 5, which is 65.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Well, hold on. So
it's only 60.
What's 60?
Oh, it's only 60. That's not 65.
Which one?
Adni. 1 plus 4 plus 50 plus 5 is 60.
It should be 10.
It should be yud. It should be 10.
Is 10.
It should be 10, not 5. Big.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think it was fixed in the new edition?
No. We didn't get there yet, so no. Now it's 65.
Could be they caught it. They do have I don't know what you call it. They have online addendum.
Addendum or errata? Errata.
What's that mean?
Errata or corrections.
Corrections, yes. They have errors and corrections.
Errata or addendum is in addition to it. Errata are the corrections that are made to that previous.
That's what they have online.
Errata.
Thank you.
ERRATA. Latin word.
Yeah. So, what it says here, this is so that the chitzonim, the klipa, that evil should not derive sustenance from divine beneficence. This says that and we know that the Kohen is synonymous with chesed, or symbolic of chesed. So bringing the fruits to the Kohen corresponds to lights from Malchus that are going back up to chesed, to prevent them from falling into evil. And we said before that Nukva is not chesed. Nukva, there are 5 states of Gvura, within chet, within nukva, and the sweetening of the dinin of the severities. Thank you. Are in malchus. Okay. Now, thank you for pointing that out, for noticing that the addition is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also have to look. Notice.
Yeah. And you can't just read wantonly and just disregard it. You got to read and comprehend. Mindlessly.
Okay.
The divine name Agni signifies the sphere of Malchus, feminine principle. Whenever there is a revelation of divine beneficence, there is the risk that the forces of evil will benefit from the overflow. That is, whatever is not directed to proper vessels. One way of minimizing this risk is ensuring that the vessels are spacious enough to hold whatever divine beneficence reaches them. We accomplish this by building orderly and well-functioned mental, emotional, and physical structures and contexts in our lives, through which we can easily channel whatever new insights, emotions, and material wealth and well-being come our way.
Say that again. What did you just read? Okay, so that's why we stop and double check.
Whenever there is a revelation of divine beneficence, there's the risk that the forces of evil will benefit from the overflow. That is, whatever is not directed to proper channel, proper vessels left over. One way of minimizing this risk is ensuring that the vessels are capacious enough to hold whatever divine beneficence matches them. We accomplish this by building orderly and well-functioned mental, emotional, and physical structures and contexts in our lives through which we can easily channel whatever new insights, emotions, and material wealth and well-being come our way. So we have to have enough capacity to take everything and not be closed-minded and say that's all I can take, and whatever's left over will go to some evil inclination. We have to be able to absorb everything. So we have to have vessels for areas where it's patient has enough capacity to take in everything.
Right. Mental, emotional, and physical structures must be
concrete
materials.
Yeah.
What?
Structures? Yeah, pretty much down here.
Mental, emotional, and physical structures and contexts in our lives. Those are the vessels that we need to have enough capacity to absorb everything. You can't have shallow vessels that won't absorb things. You have to have enough capacity. Everything is absorbed. So therefore, there is no overflow then.
Okay.
The purpose is that they're big enough.
What is capacious enough? I'm sorry.
Big size. Capacity.
Okay. So we need to have a big enough vessel.
Right, for all those different.
So then nothing gets lost.
There's no overflow, so nothing gets lost, and be able to go to the evil inclination to strengthen that. All absorbed. It's all absorbed.
Yeah.
Can you find them?
No, they're filed somewhere. So
you gotta read them.
When you empty your closet, good stuff comes in. You empty your house, all the clutter, good things come in. And well, look where we got confirmation.
Okay.
I took your Versa out.
I didn't take any Tylenol for a while, so I'm trying to wean off it. Now it's. Did you tell? You hit the other hand? I won't feel on this one yet. The other way we minimize this risk is by taking steps to ensure that whatever would overflow it. No, whatever would overflow if it was given is instead withheld. The other way we minimize this risk is by taking steps to ensure that whatever would overflow if it was given instead withheld. That's not that that
The
whatever
other
would
way is by
overflow.
taking steps to ensure that whatever would overflow.
I think the gift should not be there. Whatever would overflow it was given.
No, listen. Whatever would overflow if it was given is instead withheld.
Oh,
in other words, instead of
okay.
giving 3 gallons, and the container only holds 2 gallons.
You only give 2 gallons.
Don't give 3 gallons, just give 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but was old.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Rabbi Shneir
It's not the clearest
right.
sentence.
Yeah.
Rabbi Shneir Zalman of Ladi explains that in order for divine beneficence to reach this world in any form, it has to be greatly contracted. This contraction process is likened to piercing small holes in a veil that shields a bright, intense light, allowing only small rays of light to penetrate it and be visible from the outside. Once this light has reached its destination, the holes must then be closed in order to prevent the light from shining elsewhere. If we allegorically consider the spheres the garment of the divine form or body, the veil hiding their light from the lower worlds may be conceived of as a coat of armor, which has many holes in it, for the light to issue through. These holes are covered by scales to prevent arrows entering it, or, in our analogy, prevent light from issuing where it is not wanted, and thus granting power to evil. Light goes in, it's closed, it can't go out.
Deficit valve. To one direction.
Rabbi Shneir Zalman explains that this preventative power is part of the effect of acts of charity and kindness in this world. Presumably, it is in this light that we are to understand the effect of giving the first fruits to the temple. Giving the first fruits is a form of charity, since the priests are the ones who actually eat these fruits, and the commandment educates us to give the first and best fruits of our efforts to holy purposes. This, in effect, indicates that all the fruits of our efforts are going to be directed for holy purposes, since we dedicate even our mundane lives to promulgating divine consciousness in this world. By ensuring that our mundane lives are dedicated and oriented to divine purposes, we close the holes in the divine veil, preventing Hashem's beneficence from being sidetracked into evil channels through our misuse of it. As we have also seen previously, the involvement in the material world is the feminine side of our personalities. It is thus the light of the feminine principle that must be directed upward, the source of divine beneficence, Hashem's chesed. If left to its own devices, the feminine principle within us will focus obsessively on the material world, at first with the help of making the world a home for Hashem, but eventually losing sight of this goal and seeing our involvement in the material world as an end in itself. The feminine principle is alluded to by the word for basket. Rabbi Bachi ben Asher adds the following ideas. The first fruits symbolize the first 3 letters of the name Havaya, Yud, He, Vav, and the basket symbolizes the fourth letter, the final He, which, as we know, also signifies the Sephira of Malchus. Malchus is the recipient of the flow of divine insight and beneficence of the Spirit, signified by the first 3 letters of the name Havaya. It is therefore symbolized by the basket that holds the priest presents Hashem in this ceremony. The priest represents Hashem in this ceremony, and he takes the fruit and the basket, symbolizing the divine name, and and waves them in the four directions, indicating that it is Hashem who runs and animates the world. The holes in the wicker basket evoke the image of Hashem observing the world from his unobserved vantage point and directing the affairs of life through his divine providence.
So basically, the idea is you need to prevent the overflow to chisonim, to evil. We do that by bringing the basket to the Kohen. So then it's like bringing it back up to Chesed. What? What did it say? He said something. He said something. Part of the effects of acts of charity and kindness in the world. That's what it said.
All right.
Okay, want to pull the mic out?
Well,
okay.
Nations of evil.
Page 991.
Following Christ will stand among the Levites. The Levites, they blessed the Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. Following tribes will stand on Mount Ebal, face the Levites when they pronounce the curse. Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. In the beginning of Parsha, the Jewish people were commanded to place the blessing on Mount and the curse on Mount Ebal. But they crossed the Jordan River and entered the land of Israel. The discussion of how to do this does not take place in that passage, but is rather postponed until this portion of the Torah. Following the instructions quoted above, a list of the 11 curses the Levites are pronounced as given. Blessings are not mentioned explicitly. According to the sages, they were simply the inverse of the curses.
So, then Re'eh, Hashem says, beginning of Re'eh, he talks about putting the blessing on Gerizim and curse on Mount Ebal. That's chapter 11. This is 27. Re'eh is the fourth in Devarim, and this is the seventh in Devarim. So it's 3 weeks later that we read exactly how it should be done. Gemara says a lot of things happened on that day. They crossed the Yarden. They marched, I think, 60 miles or 60 kilometers, 60 somethings. Or parsa. Parsa is 3 miles?
3.8 kilometers.
Oh.
That'd be almost 200 kilometers.
No, maybe it was 60 meal. Meal is probably like a kilometer.
Okay. That sounds better.
And so they walked. It was a busy day. The Gemara goes through all the things that they did. Yeah, something like that. No, these are curses. Curses. 11 curses. Hold on. Let's look them up.
No.
Yes. No. So we know what we're talking about.
Oh, no, that's the...
Here. Not the hokey pokey.
Okay. 11:29.
Page 1074.
11:29.
Let's go to page 1072. Okay?
Yes. Bottom, yes.
Okay. Alan, you want to read 11? Start reading.
Moses commanded the people of that day, saying, These shall stand to bless the people on Mount Gerizim when you have crossed the Jordan. Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. These shall stand for the curse on Mount Arizal, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. The Levites shall speak up and say to every man of Israel in a loud voice, Accursed is the man who will make a graven or molten image, an abomination of Hashem, a craftsman's handiwork, and place it in secret. And the entire people shall speak up and say, Amen. That is to signify that they heard it, in other words.
And as they say, Amen.
Not cursing anybody, but we agree that whoever does it.
What do you mean?
Why?
Huh? Why do you say Amen? Because if someone does it, then they're cursed. Yeah. Not complicated.
If somebody does this, then he'll be cursed.
This curse. I don't look at this.
What? These are curses.
Admonition, too. It's a different way of. I don't.
You're saying,
I think it's more of a. Well, this is what will happen to the person who does this.
statement. If you do this, it will be
Conditional. Right. Yeah.
okay. We all agree.
I'm lost.
Because it says,
Here, let me do different.
and the entire people shall speak up and say amen. They didn't say amen. They should say
Think of it this way. We left Egypt. We got the Torah. Over there, we heard Hashem speak. Hashem said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God, blah, blah, blah. We agreed to keep the Torah. So we had the covenant at leaving, 40 days after leaving Egypt. 49 days, sorry. We had the covenant 49 days after leaving Egypt. Now it's 40 years later. The people of the desert have died. This is the next generation. Moshe dies on the 7th of Adar. Moshe dies on the 7th of Adar. 33 days later, they cross the Jordan River. And they end up at Mount Gerizim and Mount Arizal. Number one. I was wondering about that. That's what was in the bag? I've been giving out already. I'm saying today I stopped at a few places. Yesterday I may have stopped at a few. Okay. When I come back, I'll. Number two.
Oh, you can.
Just said you take it back with him.
Those he gave me. I'm going to see him. I told him I'll see him. Number two. So number one, it's different people.
Right.
Yeah, different people. First generation died in the desert. These are the children. Well, we're rededicating the covenant. Number 2, we don't have Moshe, we have a new leader, Yehoshua. Number 3, instead of living in the desert all together,
You got to work for
now we're going to have to work for it. Instead of studying Torah all day, we're going to have to work, period.
it. Be able to do both.
And number 4, instead of living in close proximity to Moshe, to each other, we're going to be scattered throughout the land. I think those are the 4. So it's time to renegotiate the covenant. Not negotiate, but you know what I mean. To have a
Reaffirm.
renew the vows. Thank you. It's time to renew the vows. And that's what it
40
is.
years, you the vows.
So that's what we're doing here. We're renewing the vows. We're again coming and making a commitment, like we did at Har Sinai. What's that commitment? If you don't do the mitzvahs, you're cursed. Amen. We agree to that. We get it. If you do them, you'll be blessed. Amen. We agree to that. Actually, what's not written here is that blessings were also recited, so that we had half the people on one mountain, half the people on the other mountain. The Levium turned to this mountain, and they made their declaration, and all the people, everyone on both mountains answered Amen. And the blessing. Then they turned to the other side, and they said the curse, and everyone on both mountains answered Amen. No, regular.
Who's that bad stuff?
Admonishments.
That's
Later in this parsha, yeah.
And also before side. It happened before side when they read the admonishments. More so, that is given lower tone. That you just hear it, not said out very loud.
Okay. Okay. You want to keep reading?
I was reading.
No, reading here.
Oh.
1074, and I'm coming right back.
All right.
Hopefully I'll get back.
All right. So are we? Cursed is the one who degrades his father or mother, and then type people should say, cursed is the one who moves the boundary of his fellow. So is the the 10 commandments plus other minor things that we've been talking about. So accursed is the one who causes a blind person to go astray on the road, and accursed is the one who prevents the judgment of a proselyte, orphan, or widow. Amen. Accursed is the one who lies with the wife of his father, or he will have uncovered the robe of his father. Blah blah blah. Amen. Accursed is the one who lies with any animal. Accursed is the one who lies with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother. Accursed is the one who lies with his mother-in-law. Accursed is the one who strikes his fellow stealthily. Strike his fellow stealthily. Oh, like some police. Accursed is the one who takes a bribe to kill a person of innocent blood. So that would be like the torture. Accursed is the one who will not uphold the words of his Torah to perform them. Blah, blah, blah. That's about it. All the blessings will come upon you. Oh, you had the mounts there?
Yes, I do. It should be right here.
Okay,
That's
so
the phone
you
for
said the
that.
blessing. I work for 11.
Here's a picture. There are 11. I think there's closer. What? No. Mount Gerizim and Mount Aval. This is just snapped from the highway. I didn't even know what I was snapping, I think. But this is what I caught.
Whoa.
Look at this. The city of Shechem, or the bottom picture. Taken best around. City of Shechem or Nablus, right in between. You got to see that. You got to see the picture. This is from This is from 1996.
Oh,
This is on the highway.
bottom
Bottom picture.
Oh,
Are the two mountains.
That's
The one on top
They
is.
didn't make a road like in America. Okay.
The one on top, in the middle, is the city, one of the mountains in the back. But at the bottom picture, you see that with both mountains coming up. And I heard in the name of somebody who was an Israeli soldier there, and he said they were testing it. They're on the mountains, and you can hear the acoustics were perfect to hear from the people down below in the city.
Oh, it's like they told me at home that you're in the dining room and normally, but if you are at the bedroom, it's like amplified.
Yeah. Here's the picture. Here's the picture.
I'm going for this.
Mount Gerizim and Mount Aval, with the city of Shechem in between. And you see how the two mountains come up on either side, the slopes of the mountains on either side. Picture from 1996, August. Okay. And yeah, so what's there in the city is Yosef is buried in the city. People go to visit his grave, his tomb. They had a yeshiva there for a while. I think 2000 during the Intifada, 2001, 2002. The Arabs attacked, and there was an Israeli soldier, and Israel was trying to negotiate with the PA police to get out a wounded soldier. And they were instead of just going in and getting him out, they were negotiating, and the soldier bled to death. And the place was firebombed, and eventually, they were able to get out all the students who were studying at the yeshiva. So now people go in to visit. There are escorts that are done to help people coordinated that they should be allowed to go in safely. Once in a while. No, it's in the north. South. It's between Svat and Yerushalayim. I don't know if we drove by on our last trip. May have driven by.
I have it.
Okay. Next one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, well.
I just want to say the two mountains.
All right. I have already taught you about the 11 ingredients of the incense, 11 goat wool coverings of the tabernacle, and the 11 curses of Parsha Tabo. They divine energy. There, got you. Since the divine energy that creates and sustains the world is organized into the structure of 10 sephirot, and the Sefer Yetzirah is particularly about this number, 10 and not 11, 10 and not 9, it follows that that 10 signifies the complete, balanced, holy order of powers. Number 11, in contrast, seems to indicate destructive excess, egotistic tendency to one-up the divine system. In the words of the sages, whoever adds, subtracts. It therefore signifies evil and curse. Okay, so he's referring backwards to, we did the instance. Okay, so the tabernacle was covered with 3 curtains, one made of 10 curtains fastened together, each woven of a mixture of various materials, one made of 11 goat skins fastened together, and one of dasha skins. Dasha was a multicolored animal that does not exist nowadays. Their significance is just as there are 10 holy sephiros, there are 10 sephiros of evil. Evil is a perversion of holiness. It follows that every shade of holiness expressed in the 10 sephiros there is a corresponding shade of evil. In addition, there is within the 10 holy sephiros a spark of holiness that sustains. This is the mystical meaning of the verse, and kingship rules over all. The common denominator of all 10 Sephiros is that they are expressions of Hashem's sovereignty. That one, over creation. This is the basis for their mutual inter-inclusion and harmonious co-functioning. Okay, so the common denominator of all 10 Sephiros is that they are expressions of Hashem's sovereignty over creation. Same is true for the 10 evil Sephiros with the following difference. The 10 holy Sephiros are composed of essence and vessels. The essence of a Sephira in the divine energy powers it. Oh, the essence of the Sephira is the divine energy that powers it. The vessel of the Sephira is its identity of the particular divine power that manifests.
Two things: the essence and the vessel.
Yeah. A good one. Divine energy.
And the vessel, we could say, are kalim. Those are the
Containers.
containers.
Identity.
Yes.
The more familiar terminology for essence is light. Here the light is called the essence. It is, of course, the divine power that makes the Sephira into an instrument or a useful tool in the hand of Hashem. The vessel or particular identity, the power being manifest, is relatively incidental. Everybody understood? I don't know what it means.
Oh, hold on.
So, essence is clear. Vessel, I don't see that. And the identity of the power being manifest is relatively incidental.
Not sure what that means. Every sphera has oros and kalim. It has the light, and then it has the container. Light and container.
Doesn't matter which one is being manifest, the fact that it is. Doesn't matter which one.
It says that the container is what takes on the
Right. But
is what it turns out to be, what it looks like.
That's good.
But I'm not clear on that.
We're going to more from it. So now, in the case of the 10 holy spheres, the essence, which is the life force that's spheres, is absorbed and hidden with them. Thus, it is written in the Zohar, he and that which he causes, the vessels are one. He and that which he causes are one. He and that which he enlivens, the lights are one. This is why their number is only 10. They are 10 overhanging curtains of the tabernacle.
First thing had 10. The first curtain, the lower curtain, had 10.
Holiness is characterized by submission to Hashem's will. And submission to Hashem's will enables entities to coexist with opposites. It is Hashem's will that this occurs.
If it's Hashem's will, then it should occur.
Here, although essence and expression are opposite in nature, so expression again is the vessel.
Yes, container.
Are opposite in nature. Lights and vessels can coexist together so long as they both submit to the divine scheme. This submission to the divine will is expressed by there being only 10 spheres, the number of balance and containment. 10 curtains that form the inner covering of the tabernacle, closest to the holiness of the ark, and the other vessels express this submission.
10's a good number.
A kosher. Kosher. Good.
Yeah, 10's a good number. It's with harmony.
Like he could have said 7, but it. That's okay. But in the case of the 10 evil spheres, the holy life force cannot be absorbed. The holy does not mix with the profane. Rather, it hovers above them and enlivens them from afar. Therefore, their number is 11. Since the evil spheres express rebellion against the divine will, there can be no reconciliation between essence and expression. Furthermore, the essence cannot enter the vessels obeying Hashem's will. Only by virtue of Hashem's will that the evil can exist or have any power. While the vessel is not, as we said, the vessel is an expression of rebellion against Hashem's will.
The essence is obeying Hashem's will. The vessel is not. The vessel is not in accordance with Hashem's will by Klipa.
goods and zeros, they can coexist. All right. Therefore, the life force, the essence or life, rather than being counted as an aspect of the sense, is counted as an entity of its own. Oh,
So you have each of the 10 spheres, evil spheres, and then you got the light, which doesn't really go into them.
As is explained regarding 11 goat bull colors, this is because whoever adds detracts. We have explained this idea in that context as well. This is the mystical significance of all three 11s mentioned above. Now explain these 11 curses individually. Now, 12. Uh,
How do you count 12?
just by
Open up.
every time there's a curse. No.
I counted 11. From verse 15 to verse
you,
26. Oh, maybe you're right. It's 11.
But 15 to 25 is 10,
You're right.
Yeah,
and
no,
26 is 11.
So I
That's
just
11.
counted the curse.
No,
No,
it's
12.
we did.
1,
12. 15 to 25 is 11.
3,
I know it's 11,
4,
and I
5,
double checked with
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the last one says, a curse is the one that will not uphold the words of his Torah. So,
yeah. Then I think the last one. I think the last one doesn't
number
count.
26
Doesn't count.
count.
Depends. Sometimes we call them 11. Sometimes we call them 12.
Either way, it's not 10.
Yeah, but it's 10 plus 1.
And what was the name of the extra? Well,
Kolo. No, that's not here.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
All right.
And okay.
We will the first, curse be who makes a graven molten image, we agree on that one, corresponds to the evil known as Arihampin or Klipa. Therefore, it is said about this image that the one who makes it, that he puts it highly.
The Torah says, he makes an image and then he puts it in a hidden place.
All right. This refers mystically to the hidden realm of creation, or Arihampin, or for Arihampin hides and is close within the world of Atzilus, as is known. All right. So the first curse corresponds to Arihampin or Klipa. But Arihampin,
it's a part of Keser. It's a
the
lower,
face,
long face.
the long face.
It's a lower part of Keser.
Okay. Up. All right. But yeah, Klipa, I way, but okay. So Arihampin, Eisen's close within the world of kind of. Klipa, shell, is a synonym for evil. In the present context, a particularly apt one, since evil is here described as a phenomenon of divine energy surrounding its powers rather than entering them to fuse with them. Idolatry is obviously the general overall statement of rebellion against Hashem, and is therefore considered the keter of evil. So idolatry is like number one. Keser, and specifically the parts of Arihampin, corresponds to the psychological power of will. Idolatry is the expression of the will within the soul to break off the yoke of the kingdom of heaven. Really. The false hope of independence. This is because idolatry is not a religion in the sense that is the submission of the individual or community to the will of the deity. It's rather an attempt to harness and manipulate the spiritual power inherent within creation for one's own purpose. Okay, so we have an ego. Atzilus, in this concept, signifies the array of conscious powers that the soul, intellect, emotion, and expression. This will permeate, right?
The will.
The will permeates, informs, and runs these powers in a hidden, subconscious fashion, behind the scenes, as it were. Hence, the importance of aligning the will with holiness rather than delusions of selfhood. So, for this reason, there are 13 words in this verse until and including the word in hide. This corresponds to the 13 rectifications of the beard of the Holy Ancient One. The actual curse in this verse is exactly 13 words. The number 13 signifies the 13 attributes of divine mercy, the expression of Hashem's goodwill and willingness to forgive sin. The bodily correlate of this mercy is the beard, which is seen as a way the head can be channeled down into the lower parts of the body directly. The normal flow of divine beneficence into reality is patterned after the flow of a new idea or insight from the superconscious mind, Keser, into the conscious mind, Chokhmah, Bina, and that. From there, to the neck, into the torso, signifying the emotions, and on out into expression, mouth, hands, feet, and sexual organs. When a person sins, however, this normal flow has been sabotaged such that there is a blockage along the way, most typically that the power of insight cannot properly affect the emotions, leaving the person frustrated and unable to grow, develop, or express himself spiritually. It is therefore necessary for the normal flow to be bypassed or overridden. And this is the dynamic of forgiveness. In such a case, a small but highly concentrated flow of inspiration emerges from the mind, not through the standard channel of orderly processing, signified by the neck, but through the hairs of the beard. As we have also explained previously, hair signifies a very diminished form of life force, constantly growing, but can be cut without causing pain. Beard does by Hashem's attribute. Elsewhere, the Arizal describes the 13 rectifications or tufts of the beard, how each one corresponds to one of the 13 attributes of mercy. Well, that was the first curse. The second curse, cursed be the one who insults his father or his mother, corresponds to the two partsufim of Abba and Ima. Well,
Okay.
the next five curses correspond to the first five sephiros of Serampin, Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Hesed, and Gebura. The Arizal does not explain the correspondence between these curses and sephiros. Right. The next, cursed be he who has relations with his sister, corresponding to the first of Serampin. For the head of Nukba begins at the level opposite the chest of Serampin, as is known. She, in addition to being his bride, is Serampin's sister. But this is so only when she is situated at this level, not when she is otherwise. For it is only in this case that they can cling together consummately. As we have explained previously, both Zerampin and his feminine counterpart, Nukba or Zerampin, originate in Ima. They are therefore considered brothers and sisters. However, they are also intended to mate. These concepts are called bride and groom, or prince and princess. They will also explain their proper coupling occurs when the intellect of Nukba, expression and actualization, is at the level of the chest, emotions of Zerampin, inspiration and divine idea. If Nukba were to be the same height as Zerampin, this would mean that her intellect receives directly from his intellect, and this would be counterproductive, for she personifies a totally different thrust in the divine plan, and that of disseminating the divine idea without and throughout creation. Thus crucial that her intellect receives from the emotions there the level at which his intellect has been overstaged the emotion response, the desire to relate the idea of the intellect to the outside world. To summarize,
Yeah.
curse. He who makes a graven image corresponds to Arihanti. So it's the curse of the image, talk about idolatry. Second, curse be the one insults father and mother, Abanida.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Curse be he who moves his neighbor's landmark from a stealing. It's the keter of Zeram. So it's the top of the emotions.
Within Zerampin.
Yeah.
So in Zerampin, it's the
It's the
Keter
top,
part.
yeah. Talk about Rachel and wherever. Curse be he who sorry, misdirects a blind person on his way. Hochma there. Guys be who perverts the judgment of a stranger, orphan or widow, that the bee knows. Guys be he who has relation with his father's wife. Hesed of. Guys be who has relations with a bee, any beast, kevura. Guys be he who has relations with his sister, whether daughter, his father or mother. That's the first of Serampin. More that. Cursed be he who has relation with his mother-in-law, Netza of Serampin. And cursed be he who strikes his spouse in secret. That's okay, whatever. Paul of Serampin. And cursed be he who accepts the bride in case of murder. Oh, the one that ignored the Torah.
That's not here, right?
That's the yes of the. Well, that was not the last
Correct.
summarization.
That's what I was looking to see also.
Didn't make much.
Summarize, it's the number 11. We're looking at number 11. Yeah. Okay, I do need to get going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.